When the news broke that Donald Trump's Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick was photographed on Epstein's pedo island, I immediately went to the Department of Justice website to search Lutnick. Here was what I found. No results found under the name Lutnick, so I searched Epstein. No results found on the DOJ search function for the Epstein Transparency Act when I typed in Epstein. Same thing for Trump, same thing for Maxwell. The entire Trump DOJ Epstein Transparency Act website's search function was disabled and shut down for most of yesterday. So then I went to try to look manually and try to find this photograph that I was seeing circulating of Howard Lutnick on Epstein's pedo island. There's a group of men or young men that seem to be hanging out together on Epstein's island. I saw the photo of Epstein and I wanted to authenticate it myself. So I was trying to go through the Bates number that I saw, the individual number on the bottom right, and then that was taken down from the Department of Justice website as well when I was trying to look sequentially. So it seemed that they removed this photo to try to act like it never existed, or then to what? Try to say it was AI or that it was fake. And then they shut down the search function to make it easier to try to find this photo. But folks, let's be very clear. There was a real photo, and the Trump regime, after seeing this photo of Howard Lutnick, seemed to shut down the search function on the DOJ website for the Transparency Act. And they, at least for a significant period of time, took the photograph down. The photo is real. Let me be very clear. I've been able to authenticate it independently. In any event, the great folks at Gmail have been able to independently authenticate it, and Gmail ingested all of the Epstein files, preserved it in kind of a Gmail format to make it appear like this is what Epstein's inbox looked like, but they preserved all of these files. And so you can see right here the Bates number, EFTA01230639.pdf preserved. Take a look right there. You zoom in and Howard Lutnick looks a little different there because this picture appears to be from 2012, but this is indeed what Howard Lutnick looked at the time. We have other photos of Howard Lutnick at the time. We have other cross-references from Epstein's pedo island to see exactly where the photo was taken. You can see the flagpole, the same things in the background that we know from overhead satellite images of Epstein's pedo island are there. That is Lutnick with a few other men there. Those individuals do appear potentially to be his children, 16 years old at the time. The guy there to his right may be a guy named Michael Lehrman. You go through the email that was uncovered in the Epstein files, December 19, 2012, Howard Lutnick to Jeffrey Epstein. We are landing in St. Thomas early Saturday afternoon and planning to head over to St. Bart's on Monday at some point. Where are you located? What's the exact location for my captain? Does Sunday evening for dinner sound good? I have another couple, Michael and Marcy Lehrman. It's why I believe that's the Lehrman guy over there in that photo, with me on my boat, and each of us has 4 children, 2 16s, 2 14s, a 13, a 12, an 11, and a 7-year-old. And remember when Lutnick was giving interviews on podcasts like the one on New York Post with Miranda Devine, and he said that he met Epstein once in 2005. They were neighbors. He said Epstein invited him to his place. He said he went up to Epstein's place, saw a massage table, was disgusted, and then said that he told his wife, "That man's disgusting. I've never seen him again. He's gross. He's disgusting." Never met with him professionally, philanthropically, for business, for pleasure, for any reason at all. He did all of the above. The Epstein files showed that he was lying. He was forced to admit during his congressional testimony that he was a liar when he said he didn't meet Epstein other than that one time, or that he was disgusted by him, because clearly he wasn't. I mean, look at this photo. Again, this is a real photo right here. You have Lutnick. It appears to be his 2 16-year-old kids. You have Jeffrey Epstein right there, and you have Michael Lehrman there on the right. You zoom in, and Howard Lutnick seems to be having the time of his life. That is not a man who is disgusted by Epstein. That is a man enjoying himself on Pedo Island with his children. He's got that blue button down. He seems to be having the time of his life right there. So just rewind for a second, please. So these photos surfaced yesterday, and they were there for a long time, but people start circulating these photos. The Trump regime gets absolutely terrified. They shut down the search feature on the DOJ website to make it easy to try to locate documents and individuals when the files that are produced in the Epstein Transparency Act, they take down the photograph right there of Lutnick, which is a real photograph, to make it seem, try to gaslight us as though it's not a real photograph. We know it's a real photograph. In addition to us and Jmail talks about AWS recognition software and off-the-shelf face recognition API from Amazon believes with 99% certainty that the man is in blue is Howard Lutnick. It's indisputable that it's him, but the cover-up persists. The cover-up continues. Democratic Congress member Ted Lieu says, it would appear Howard Lutnick lied under oath. Lutnick testified that he visited Epstein with his family and nannies. He's so elite he had more than one nanny. The picture shows Lutnick with Epstein and all men on Rape Island. Why did the Department of Justice delete this picture? Ted Lieu, Congress member, then wrote, Dear Howard Lutnick, so how many times did you go to Epstein's Rape Island? Pam Bondi, why are you covering this picture up of Epstein's friend Lutnick? And are you really so stupid you think deleting a picture after you posted it on the internet will make it go away? A reminder, look at this photo right here. You see Epstein's mansion at 9 East 71st Street, Upper East Side in New York City. Lutnick's mansion, 11 East 71st Street. Look how close they were to each other. Both of those townhouses, both of those mansions, though, were originally owned by Les Wexner. Remember Les Wexner? He was deposed by the House Oversight Committee last week. Remember, no MAGA Republican showed up to that deposition. Democrats did. Les Wexner admitted he gave Epstein $1 billion. He claimed he didn't know why he was hiring Epstein, but still gave the guy $1 billion. He claims that he was conned. He also talked about Epstein and Donald Trump going to Victoria's Secret shows and other fashion shows that Les Wexner was holding. Wexner said, I'm not really sure why. Wexner also talked about the relationship that he was aware that Epstein had with the Rothschild banking family. And then Wexner's lawyer told him, if you keep on speaking, I'm going to fucking kill you. You know, I don't like cursing, but I want to be very clear with what the evidence is saying. That's what Les Wexner's lawyer said to Wexner, I'm going to effing kill you if you keep on talking. Now, this also comes at the same time that we are aware that Donald Trump is covering up numerous FBI 302 reports, right? We have that manifest, the documents list where we see certain FBI 302 reports. We believe there may be as many as 90 plus FBI 302 reports. Those are the reports of witness statements, survivor statements to the FBI. Those are being concealed. I did a video yesterday morning that went through a January 4th, 2026 memorandum sent by Todd Blanche to FBI agents and DOJ lawyers who were reviewing the Epstein files. Notably, January 4th, 2026 is weeks after the December 19th deadline when the Epstein documents were supposed to be produced under the Epstein Transparency Act. But when you go through this memo that was sent by Todd Blanche, who is Donald Trump's former criminal defense attorney, it talks about which documents should be withheld. And it says to specifically flag the FBI 302 reports. If 302s are there, apply this tag to all FBI 302s. And then it adds a requirement or an exclusion rather to the Epstein Transparency Act that doesn't actually exist. What it says is the following: permitted withholdings or redactions under the Epstein Transparency Act fall into the following 5 categories: personally identifying information, depictions of child sex abuse would jeopardize active federal investigations, depict or contain images of death, contain information authorized under criteria established by executive order to be kept classified. There says nothing about executive privilege or nothing about deliberative process privilege, work product privilege, attorney-client privilege. But then in this memo, it's a cover-up memo. I talked about it all yesterday morning. Remember the video I did? In this cover-up memo, it talks about privilege claims. And it says that if you see FBI agents talking to FBI agents, if you see DOJ lawyers talking to DOJ lawyers, exchanging information, notes, emails, etc., withhold those, claim that they're deliberative process or attorney-client privilege or work product privilege. Also, if you see any messages between Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, say that they're attorney-client privilege and don't produce those records. Why would you claim Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine sending each other messages as attorney-client privilege? Well, Donald Trump's DOJ knew that they were talking about Donald Trump, I believe. And we know there are messages like one that's withheld where we believe that